Hey, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is episode number 248 of the show, Get Real, episode number 57. So, let's get real. 5 signs you are hiding behind the fat. Hello, welcome back for another Get Real episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. This is Get Real episode number 57, and I'm going to warn you right now, you are not going to like this episode if you are not willing to get real with yourself today for the purpose of achieving permanent success with your weight. So, if you are easily offended, if you are not willing to look at yourself, if you refuse to take personal, 100% badass personal responsibility for yourself, for your thoughts, for your negative limiting beliefs, for your negative attitude, for your fat fears, for your behaviors, for your actions, for your follow-through, for your lack of follow-through, for all of it. If you refuse to stop blaming other people and other institutions and the fast food industry and big pharma and whatever for your food and weight problems, if you're just not willing to get real with yourself so that you can finally achieve permanent weight loss, then exit this podcast now and go listen to a flowery podcast that will tell you that everything is going to be fine and that you're beautiful and you're just fluffy. Okay? Because the truth is, everything is not going to be fine if you don't make core changes. And core changes within your inner self so that you can finally change your behaviors, which will lead to a struggle-free time of living a healthy lifestyle, which is the only physical solution for permanent weight loss. Okay? There is no fast, quickie, fast fat loss diet fix that will ever give you permanent weight loss. The only physical solution for permanent weight loss is a healthy lifestyle. That means living a healthy lifestyle right now. Even if you're 100 pounds or more overweight, and you continue that healthy lifestyle while your body is releasing the fat, and you continue that healthy lifestyle after you see that goal number on the scale, and you keep going with that healthy lifestyle until you croak out of your body. Why? Because if you don't do that, you're not going to have permanent weight loss. All right? But that physical, healthy weight loss solution, the healthy lifestyle solution, that physical action plan, you know, the physical stuff you need to do, what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, what kind of exercise you do, when you exercise, all that stuff that just needs to be a routine, it just needs to be your way of life, that's only 7.2% of the puzzle. 92.8%, write this down, pen on paper, 92.8% of the solution is the world that's within you, your inner self, your inner world. 92.8% of your problem is your inner self. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your self-image, your lack of belief in yourself, your inability to stay consistent, your identity. Wow, that's huge. There are so many things going on inside of yourself. Most of them are unconscious, and it's the way you're programmed. It's your inner self programming that you've been living with for a lifetime. However long since this food and weight problem started? How old were you? 7, 10, 5, 12? So since then, you've been running this inner self programming that makes it really, really easy for you to keep living the unhealthy lifestyle that keeps your body fat. Okay? The big mistake that everybody out there is making is you keep looking for another food diet to fix your problem when the food diet can never give you permanent weight loss. If the food diet is healthy and if it can be lived by you as a healthy lifestyle from now until you croak out of your body, great, but it won't work if you don't do it. And the reason that you don't do it is because you don't have the inner self to do it. That is the whole key to the puzzle. That's why I do the work that I do with my amazing coaching clients that I've been doing since 2009, and it works every time. That's the inner self diet. It releases your binge eating. It releases your emotional eating. It releases your food addiction. It helps you to have the self-confidence that you need in order to release the fat and keep it off. You know, it's a mistake to think that weight loss is going to give you confidence and high self-esteem. That's totally backwards. You've got to have high self-esteem and high self-confidence in order to release the fat and keep it off. And you've got to have the right identity. You have to become the you who matches the fit, healthy, sexy body that you want to live in. Okay? Everyone's doing it backwards. You stay fat on the inside and force yourself to do some kind of a diet to lose weight, but then you're still fat on the inside. And there is a universal law that all of us live under, which is the inner and the outer always match. So if you don't change your inner and all you do is you change your outer has to match your inner. That's why it's so difficult for you to even do the things that you have done to change your outer. And now I've got barking Pomeranians in the background. If you could hear them, those are my awesome Poms, Happy and Little Benny. I love them so much, so very, very much. And they are fighting over a couple of chews that I gave them. But you know what? They don't have these problems that you have and that I have had. Okay, I have had these problems that I talk about. I have been totally stuck in the struggle. I've been totally stuck in food addiction, binge eating, emotional eating, all of that stuff. And that's one of the reasons that I really love doing the work I do in the Inner Self Diet with my awesome coaching clients, because I know what the other side is like, where it is extremely, totally, 100% doable and possible to live struggle-free weight loss. All right? I'm doing it right now as I speak to you. In fact, I will give you my stats right now. Before I do that, if you want to just learn a couple things, you can grab my free ebook. Get that at www.easyfunweightloss.com, www.easyfunweightloss.com, and yeah, you can get my free ebook there. The work that I have been doing with my coaching clients since 2009, it works every time. That is the proven step-by-step system that I coach my awesome coaching clients through in the Inner Self Diet. And it releases your binge eating, it releases your emotional eating, it releases the whole drama, the whole struggle. It helps you completely get out of your own way. It does what no food diet will ever do for you. It does the real work, but it only works if you do it. Okay, the Inner Self Diet doesn't work for anybody who just listens to me talk about it. Doesn't work for anybody who isn't one of my clients who is taking consistent action with it. And the same thing goes for me too. Just because I teach it, if I don't use the tools I teach, they don't work for me. Imagine that. Okay, there's no magic. You have to actually take action with the proven system that works in order to get the results. There is no get thin quick overnight magical pill out there. And so the thing is, though, is that I stopped using my own tools. I did a video about this in 2015. Maybe you saw it. It's posted on YouTube. I posted it in 2015. It's also on my Facebook page. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/JoLynn Braley. And in that video, I talked about the fact that I gained, it was 20 or 25 pounds. And that might not sound like a lot to you, but on my body and on my frame, it is a lot. And I stopped using what I teach. Okay, so it's not like just because I have the solution and I have the tools and I have the secret, just because I have all of that, if I don't use it and implement it, then it won't work for me either. So here's the magical solution. Can you guess what it is? Do 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 do. The magical solution is to use the stuff that works. And so I made a commitment to myself back in July. All right, now today is the September 28th, 2017 episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. And so it has been over 9 weeks since I made that commitment to myself. July 24th, 2017. And I committed to use the actual tools that I teach. And also I did commit to the physical side of things, to live my healthy lifestyle, non-negotiable no matter what, for a minimum of 108 days straight. And guess what? I've done that. I'm doing it right now. It's been over 9 weeks. So far, I have released 19.4 poundages of fat from my body. 19.4 poundages. That's not a word. 19.4 pounds. My body fat percentage has gone down 4.3%. Which is very good because my body fat percentage has been in the obese range, and that is extremely unhealthy. Okay? Even though, I mean, even if you saw me 19.4 pounds ago, you probably, you wouldn't say that I looked obese, but that's why it's so important to be measuring all of the different measurements. That's another mistake everybody's making, is they only look at that one number on the scale. That one weight number doesn't tell you squat. You need to know all of the numbers. And I have also released 19.7 inches. That's a hell of a lot. Okay? And this has been just in 9 weeks. Okay, that's an average of 2.15 pounds of fat per week, and that's right on track. Hey, if you're releasing 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week, you're doing great. So the thing is, though, all of this is struggle-free. It's all struggle-free. And actually, next week, I'm going to be doing, the topic will be 3 myths about struggle-free weight loss, because there's a lot of people that don't believe that what I talk about is even true. It's not even possible. And it is. But I will explain next week more about that. I will do myth busting on the top 3 myths about struggle-free weight loss. And I don't want to go into all of that now because I still need to talk about today's topic, which is 5 signs you're hiding behind the fat, which is Get Real episode number 57 here on the JoLynn Braley Show. But what I've shared with you so far, it does tie into all of this because I was hiding behind the fat. Okay? I pulled back and I was hiding behind the frickin' fat. So everything that I talk about and everything that I teach about, I have been there and I have done that, but I'm not willing to stay in the struggle any longer. I'm tired of it. I had a mistaken thought a mistaken belief that I needed to continue to struggle in order to be of the highest service to my clients, because if I didn't stay in the struggle, then I would forget what it was like and I wouldn't be able to relate to them. Well, I call BS on that now, because now that I'm on the other side and that I'm actually doing the stuff that I teach, and I'm down 19.4 pounds, 4.3% body fat percentage in just 9 weeks, and 19.7 inches released from my body. Now that I am on the other side and I'm doing all of this struggle free, okay? I'm not fighting anything. I had a client say, "Oh, you're stronger than me." And I had to explain, "No, I'm not. I'm not using any strength. I'm not fighting any urges to binge eat. I'm not fighting any urges to do anything. I'm just doing my thing. It's just not a big deal." But that's only because I'm using the tools of the Inner Self Diet, which is 92.8% of the challenge. If I wasn't using the tools, if I didn't have the 92.8% in place, I would not be able to say that I was doing the physical stuff struggle-free, because it wouldn't be true. But it is true because I'm not struggling. It's pretty awesome. But you see, all of these words I'm sharing, they don't mean anything until you experience it yourself. Words don't teach, only experience teaches. But if you're hiding behind the fat, you're already living that experience. And so, the good news is you don't have to keep hiding behind the fat. Like I said earlier, if you want just a couple tips, you can get my free ebook at www.easyfunweightloss.com. And that's a great ebook. That's a great place to start. If you really want to solve this problem, then the quickest and the fastest way to do that is to work with me personally. And we do that in the Inner Self Diet. If you're serious about doing that, and if you're cool and you want to change, and you probably have some fears, but you're not willing to allow your fears to stop you any longer. You don't want to keep hiding behind the fat. See, Happy says, that was my Pom Happy, he says, "Stop hiding behind the fat, dude." If you are willing to look at yourself, if you're willing to be coached, all right, if you're willing to release the garbage that keeps you fat, and I'm not talking about the food, although you do need to change that. I'm talking about the other garbage, the 92.8% of it that is holding you hostage. If you're willing to really break free of this stuff, and you'd love to stop asking yourself, why is it that I'm so smart intellectually? Look I've got all this great success in my career or my business, but I don't have the body to match. What the hell is going on? And if you'd love to have a body that matches your otherwise brilliant life, then go to www.discovery-session.com. That's discovery-session.com. And that's where you start with your first step. You need to fill out an application to get on a completely free phone call with me, which will help you discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good, and also what you can do about it. But that's only for you if you're really serious about changing. If you just want to say hi to me, cool. Go to my Facebook page. Click the like button on the page and say hi, and come when I do Facebook Live videos and stuff, and you can get updates with the posts that I send out. That'd be awesome. That's my Facebook page is facebook.com/JoLynn Braley. Okay, so enough with the palms barking, enough with my update on my stats. I hope that you find it inspiring that I every day, meal after meal, every day since July 24th, 2017, I have followed through completely, even with an out-of-town trip, flying across the country from Michigan to California and back, living in a hotel for a couple of days, totally clean eating. I actually took my food with me. I've done it. I'm doing it. I'm living it. I'm not just talking. I'm actually living this right now here on September 28th, 2017. Okay, so let's get real. 5 signs you're hiding behind the fat. You might want to write these down. Although, if you're hiding behind the fat, you're already doing this stuff, so you'll recognize yourself in this. Okay, number 1 sign you're hiding behind the fat. Now, this is one that I didn't do, but I see it all the time. It's very common. All right, so you're overweight or obese, and you don't post any pictures of yourself on Facebook or any place else on social media unless it's just your face or your eyeball, right? Like your chin up or your eye. There's no pictures of you. There's all the pictures are of your kids or your dog or a sunset. Your family, you're not in any of these pictures. Why? Well, listen to my podcast about how shame will keep you fat. You have got to release that shame. But please understand, I am not suggesting, and I don't teach anybody to stay fat and be excited about that. That's not where I'm coming from. I don't believe the human body feels good when you're obese or overweight, because it doesn't. It hurts your joints. It hurts your internal organs. It's hard to breathe. I mean, it is not fun and festive. So I'm not one of those people who says, oh, just be happy and be fat. No, you can have the fit, healthy, strong, slender body if you're willing to become that on the inside first, and then it will be struggle free to do the stuff on the outside to have that body and keep it. Okay, that's the first sign that you're hiding behind the fat. Second sign you're hiding behind the fat. You keep telling yourself that you can fix all your food and weight problems on your own, even though you can't stop eating. And then you justify this struggle by telling yourself that you're saving money because you're not hiring the professional who could help you to break free and get to the other side. So all of this madness, you keep struggling. It goes on day after day, year after year, holiday season after holiday season, summer after summer, on and on and on and on and on. Doesn't stop. And you keep saying that, I can do this myself, I should be able to lose weight on my own, even though I can't stop binge eating, I'm addicted to food, I can just get it together and do it on Monday, and I don't have money to be hiring anybody to help me because I don't need help anyway, but I am going to go on this cruise, and oh wow, the food's going to be good. Yeah. So, hey, remember I said that this is Get Real episode number 57 of the JoLynn Braley Show, and you won't like this if you're not willing to get real with yourself. So, yeah, you're not going to like any of this because you're the one creating this stuff for yourself. And remember, I have been there before, and I know how bad it feels, but if you could do this on your own, why aren't you doing it? Okay, number 3 sign that you are hiding behind the fat, you have a dream. There's some kind of a dream you have. You either want to open your own business, or you want to write a book, or you want to just be able to walk around the block without fear of what everybody is thinking about you. You've got some kind of a dream. And instead of going for that, you keep hiding out at home, isolating, eating all kinds of food, telling yourself that after you lose weight, then you will do this thing. But, you're not getting anywhere. You're hiding out, you're hiding behind the fat, you keep struggling with this problem that you've been struggling with your whole life. And you just keep telling yourself, I just need to buckle down and do it on Monday. How is that working? All right. Number 4 sign that you're hiding behind the fat, you are deathly afraid of taking full personal badass responsibility for yourself, to step into your own power where there will be no one to blame for your overeating and overweight. So instead of doing that, you just keep hiding out. You just keep eating. It's easier. It's easier to buy the food. It's either easier to spend all of your extra income on the binge food. It's easier to go plan a binge. It's easier to figure out what you're going to go buy at the grocery store and then go buy it and then eat all of it. All right? It's easier to have 5 different grocery stores that you can go to in rotation so that it never looks like you keep buying a whole bunch of food. You just go to this one today, another one the next time, another one the next time. It's easier to go that route because it's easier. It's easier to do that than take full personal responsibility for yourself. It's totally easier to keep eating and just keep blaming instead of getting help to fix these problems, and then you just keep hiding behind the fat. Number 5 sign that you're hiding behind the fat. You are afraid of the haters who will come out of the woodwork to hate on you if you were to succeed in achieving permanent weight loss. So you stay safe. You keep hiding and you keep eating to stay average, because unfortunately today average is being overweight, unhealthy, unhappy, and miserable. That's average. So you keep yourself safe. You just keep the status quo, stay where you are so that you don't upset anybody. And there's no way that anyone could ever be intimidated by your outstanding success that you dream about and you tell yourself you could have, but you never actually do anything about it to achieve it. And truth be told, you don't even know where to start to get that success because you don't believe in yourself and you don't have anybody in your corner who is rooting for you because you don't have the inner self diet coach, which is me. You don't have anybody pulling for you. You're just there alone in your house in the dark eating all that food. How do I know? Because I have done that kind of isolating food binge stuff before, and I've talked to this one, that one, 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 and they're all saying the same thing, and they all think that they're the only ones. So, what's the solution to all of this? You know, are you doomed that you're so depressed and hopeless and hiding behind the fat? And are you doomed because it's so easy to just keep doing what you're doing? Your brain actually makes it easy for you to stay there because your brain doesn't care. You're alive, you're breathing, you have a place to live. It doesn't care that you're totally unhappy and totally dissatisfied, and it doesn't care. So what's the solution? The solution is you got to start where you are, and you got to have a game plan for feeding your mind every day with the right tools, with the right action plan. You've got to be taking action every day with the tools that work, that will set you free. And that's the way out of this. You're not going to jump from where you are to this suddenly magical struggle-free weight loss place. You have to, first of all, be willing to change. You have to be willing to look at yourself. So, remember, got to remind you again, this is Get Real episode number 57 of the JoLynn Braley Show. And you know, I guess that you're willing to get real with yourself, though, because you're still listening to my voice. But you got to break free of this stuff. You know, nothing is going to change if you don't make a change. And the easiest way to make that change is, number one, you just do what the other people have already done before you that works. Just like all of my clients who they just followed my instructions, they did my steps, and it set them free. Okay? If you want to get inspired by their stories, go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog and just use the navigation in the top menu. There's one that says, I think it says testimonials. That would make sense. And there are written testimonials there on that site of mine. There are audio interview testimonials, and there's also videos. And hopefully you can find some inspiration that, this really is possible. But it's not possible to come out of hiding and stop hiding behind the fat if you just keep doing what you're doing, because that's your comfort zone. You will never stop hiding behind the fat in your current comfort zone, and you're never going to achieve struggle-free permanent weight loss in your current comfort zone. It's just not going to happen. Doesn't make sense. It's time for a commercial break here on the JoLynn Braley Show. This week's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is mypodcastbonus.com. Head on over to www.mypodcastbonus.com, and that's where you can opt in for my free 5-day e-course. It will help you answer the question, is your mind set, fit, or fat? It will help you answer that question and find out what's really stopping you from losing weight for good, also what you can do about it. You can get that over at www.mypodcastbonus.com. All right, a couple questions to ask yourself on each of the full episodes of the JoLynn Braley Show. I give you some questions to ask yourself, which I highly recommend you write each question down pen on paper, and then you write your answer down pen on paper. Why? Because there is a connection that occurs between the head, the hand, and the heart when you write pen on paper, and you won't get that connection if you don't do it. I mean, it's just like anything else. If you want that connection, write pen on paper. That connection will not occur by typing on a keyboard, and it definitely won't occur by just listening to my voice. So, first question, am I hiding behind the fat? Yes or no? Am I hiding behind the fat? Yes or no? Second question, am I happy hiding behind the fat? Am I happy hiding behind the fat? Yes or no? If your answer is yes, great. But then I'd wonder, why are you listening to this podcast? If your answer is no, then go on to the next question. Number 3, of course, pause the podcast for time to do all of this stuff. Number 3 question, what am I doing about it? What exactly am I doing about it? Okay? Write it down. What's your game plan? What's your game plan to stop hiding behind the fat? And notice this, if your whole game plan is to pull out that diet book and just start on Monday, how is that going to solve the real problem? Does it make sense to you that the real problem is not the fat on your body? The real problem is not the food. The real problem is you. Because if you would just live a healthy lifestyle and do it meal after meal, day after day, month after month, on and on and on, then you'd have the body that you want. Does that make sense? And so the thing is that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So even though you are successful in your business or your career world, even though you do have great success there, I bet that the behaviors that you're having problems with when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, they do also show up to some degree in your business or career life. And if you could heal that stuff, just imagine how much better your whole life would be. Are you getting this? Is it making sense? You know, I understand how seductive it is and how easy it is to just keep looking for food diet tips. That's what everybody's doing. But why don't you do it? Why do you keep looking? Why don't you just do what you already know how to do and just drop the fat and keep it off. What's the problem? All right. Oh, well, I can't stop eating and I'm addicted to food and food is my only friend. I don't have any fun in my life. Food is the only fun. It's the only thing I have to look forward to. And I can't give that up because then I would just hate everything. Well, then food is still not the problem. You and your life are the problem, and that needs healing. Does that make sense? You can have permanent weight loss, but it's not going to come from a food diet. It's you that needs to change. It's you that needs to transform. And if you don't know how to do that, get a coach to help you. Get it done fast. Get it done as fast as possible. My clients achieve struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. And if you want that, the first place to start is to go to www.discovery-session.com. All right? Answer those questions and get a move on. Remember, you got to get real with yourself about this stuff. There's no time to waste, and the longer you wait, the more weight you're going to gain. It's so easy to just keep gaining weight, and that's what's happening while you continue to put off making the real changes that you need to make. You get it? Hey, and remember, I know I've said this many times, but I've totally been there before, and I've been there in the place too where I just didn't want to change. But if that's where you are and you're determined to stay there, then at least own it. Take full responsibility for it. Don't be blaming other people or blaming whatever for your problems because you're the only one creating those problems. I'm the only one who held myself in struggle. Nobody else did that. Okay? And gosh, isn't my experience worse than yours? Really? Are you a professional weight loss coach? Do you have a professional weight loss business and you gained weight and you didn't even use the tools that you teach? You stopped using those tools and then you gained weight and you're in the public eye? So I bet that your problems are not as bad as mine. And the reason that I'm saying this is because if I can do this, if I can turn it around, if I can feed my mind every day with the empowering steps and tools and the exercises and the trainings that I teach, and if I can use that stuff and I can have the right mindset, which gives me the ability to just live a healthy lifestyle without a struggle, without a fight, which is what I'm doing now, which is why I've dropped 19.4 pounds over the past 9 weeks and 19.7 inches, and my body fat percentage went down 4.3% so far. If I can do this, anybody can do this. I mean, I think that my story is worse than anyone else's, unless you are a professional weight loss coach just like me, and you've been coaching your amazing clients since 2009, and the stuff that you teach works every time as long as you work it, and then you stopped working your own tools. All right? More than likely, you don't have the same experience as me. You don't even have the tools. You don't even have the proven system. And that's what you need. But you also have to have the accountability. You've got to have somebody who believes in you because you don't really believe in yourself totally yet. That's the main reason that my clients hire me, is because I give them hope and I'm in their corner and I believe in them when they don't. And then what they do is they walk the path and they come up to that same level of belief in themselves, and then they are free. So yeah, hey, remember, you can get my free ebook over at www.easyfunweightloss.com if you just want to get a couple of tips. Maybe you don't really want to make those core changes right now. And in the end, though, if you're going to stop hiding behind the fat, you have got to come out of your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone where it's safe and you've got your food and you just keep going with that pattern. Wow, I know that so well, and I know how bad it felt too. You could stay there. It's your choice. Nobody's making you do that. But the longer you stay there, the easier it will be to stay there, because you're practicing every time you do what you do right now. Every step you take further into that unhealthy way of life, the unhealthy thought patterns, the fat fears, the fat behaviors, every time you persist in each one of those fat steps, you repeat that and you make it stronger and you practice it and you make it even easier to keep doing it. And that's why it's so easy to stay where you are. So it really takes a leap of faith, and it takes enough belief in yourself that you deserve better, which I believe everybody deserves better, but you have to believe that for yourself. Nobody can want that for you more than you want it for yourself. You have to be willing to stand up for yourself and shine your own light. So, yeah, you're going to have to change in order to get what you want. You're never going to get what you want by continuing to do what you're doing, to continue to hide behind the fact, to continue to live in fear. And you can come out of that stuff. You can. You absolutely can. And I know what it's like to be afraid, but I'm doing it. Hey, I'm doing it. I'm sure that I'm going to be getting more haters also, especially the closer I get to my ideal weight. And then when the more I talk about that, there'll probably be more and more haters. But so what? The only reason that people criticize you and hate on you for your success is because they're not doing it themselves and they gave up on themselves. And that's not about me, that's about them. So next week's episode, I'll be doing myth busting. That will be the 3 myths about struggle-free weight loss. I'm really looking forward to that episode, because right now in this moment, I am living struggle-free weight loss. The stuff I do, the food prep, the meal planning, I get cardio. I do cardio. I do it minimum 5 days a week, sometimes 7. I do my strength training minimum twice a week. I am doing this stuff now, and it's not a big deal. I'm not fighting to do it. I'm not struggling. And so I'll do myth busting next week about the top 3 myths about struggle-free weight loss. Make sure that you're subscribed to the JoLynn Braley Show in iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you found the show. Maybe on your podcast app on your iPhone. Awesome. And I think I already told you a couple times, you can get some free tips from me in my free ebook at www.easyfunweightloss.com. I wish for you to step into your power, to stop hiding behind the fat, to start shining your brilliant light, to live your ideal life inside of your ideal body, to look your best, to feel your best, to love yourself, to be happy with yourself, to be proud of yourself. No more binge eating, no more emotional eating, none of that drama. That's what I wish for you.